Hi everyone, Sneemaster here with a review of the Esperia Stinger. The Esperia Stinger is a replica of the Van Duel Stinger designed for human use. The Stinger is a heavy fighter with a special plasma cannon along with many other weapons, which should probably be considered more of a gunship. The dimensions are 35 meters wide, 32 meters long, and 10 meters high. The ship is pretty large for a heavy fighter, with only the Vanguard series being longer at this current time. For being a big ship, this fighter has seats only for a single pilot. The player gets in the ship from the long ramp at the rear. The ramp has some rib bones on the side of it, and the ship has a very alien-style interior. The ship is pretty dark inside, with a little red lighting, so you may need a flashlight to see where you're going, although that could be a bug with the current patch. You can turn on emergency lighting inside, which may help a little. In the front, the player can sit in the pilot seat in a straddling position. The pilot seat then slides forward to give the pilot an excellent view from the cockpit, which feels a little like some amusement park ride. There is great visibility from all angles in the cockpit, above, below, and to the sides. There are two alien holographic MFDs for the pilot to use, with the HUD all in purple colors. Inside the ship, there is a gun rack on the right side for 2 medium weapons or devices and 3 small ones. It is a little hard to spot the gun rack at first because of how dark it is inside. There is supposed to be gear stowage of 900K micro SCU, but it seems the gear access point is missing, so I can't open it up yet. You could theoretically have a few passengers in the ship, but there are no seats for them to sit on, so they'll just roll around with any movement. There is no bedding or bathroom in the Stinger, and the only component access point it has are 3 fuses inside. There is no other component access as of patch 4.7, so you have to do any servicing using the Moby Glass, although this may change in patch 4.8 or beyond. For ship systems, the Stinger has very strong shields. It has 2 size 2 shields, military grade C. Only the Vanguard series or Guardian MX have that many medium shields for a heavy fighter. Hull and armor-wise, it's about the same as the Vanguard or Scorpius, with the Guardian series having much more hull and armor strength than the Stinger. There are 2 size 1 power plants, industrial grade C, which are very underpowered for a ship with so many large energy weapons. The guns take a long time to recharge on the default single pip, so you have to take some pips from other systems to bump up the gun capacitors to make them worthwhile. I took energy from the radar to the guns, since often I was not scanning for anything that far. I strongly recommend getting grade A industrial, military, or civilian power plants as soon as you can to get the energy you need for the guns. There are 3 size 1 coolers, industrial grade B, which work pretty well in keeping the ship systems cool enough. There is also a size 1 radar, military grade C, with an aim assist range of 949 meters. The Stinger has 3 mine thrusters, which is a bit different from human heavy fighters, which normally only have them in groups of 2 or 4 engines. There are only 2 retro thrusters though, so slowing down is a bit sluggish. The Stinger can fly at an SCM speed of 207 meters a second with a boost up to 440 meters a second. That's a little low for a heavy fighter, about the same as the Vanguard series, and slower than the Scorpius, Shiv, and Hurricane. The nav speed is 1050 meters a second, which is a little slower than all the other heavy fighters as well. The Esperia Stinger has a size 2 quantum drive, industrial grade C. It's about average for heavy fighters, with ships like the Vanguard having longer range and faster speed drives. The quantum drive has a red color design, which is very alien compared to the usual human quantum drives. There is a hydrogen fuel capacity of 36 SCU and quantum fuel capacity of 1.35 SCU. That's more hydrogen fuel than many heavy fighters and about average quantum fuel capacity, with only the Vanguard series having much longer range. The Stinger is not a maneuverable ship. It has a slower pitch, yaw, and roll rate than many other heavy fighters. In fact, less maneuverable than many larger ships like the Starlancer series. This is probably due to the fact that it has more mass than any other heavy fighter, even the Vanguard ships, but not enough power to run it all. The Stinger does not have any official cargo capacity, although you could load a 1 SCU container on the inside with a tractor beam. You can also carry a very small hover bike like the Mirai Pulse or Origin X1 inside the ship with little effort. For weaponry, the Stinger has 1 size 5 plasma cannon. It can do a tremendous amount of damage, but it's a slow-firing gun, so it's best against heavy targets. It's a bespoke gun hardpoint, so you can't change it for anything else, and it is a fixed gun, so it does not gimbal. There are also 4 size 4 gun hardpoints with light strike 4 laser cannons, and then 2 size 2 gun hardpoints with size 2 laser cannons. All of these other guns can be changed out for other guns. As laser cannons, they don't fire fast, but if you set the guns to alternate fire, then you can still fire fairly quickly with them, but you could change them out for repeaters or something else. There are also 2 missile launchers with 8 size 2 missiles each for a total of 16 missiles, which is pretty good for a heavy fighter. You can't change out the missile launchers, but you can load different size 2 missiles as needed. Since these are infrared, you may want to consider electromagnetic or cross-section missiles as needed. The Stinger has a bird-like theme on the outside, which is pretty sleek, and a biological-looking interior with bones and things. It's probably a nice ship for Vanduul, but a bit creepy for humans normally. The Esperia Stinger runs for $315 in time-limited sales, or $290 in Warbond. The expensive price is due to it being both a heavy fighter and an alien ship, so it's more expensive than any normal human fighter. You can also buy the Stinger at Teach's Ship Shop in Levski in the Nix system for 8.9 million UEC. The Stinger has a gray and copper paint scheme. You can buy other paints for the Stinger though. There is the gray and red Black Widow paint, the gray and bronze Deathstalker paint, only for concierge members, the two-tone gray Mamba paint, the metallic green and bronze Pit Viper paint, and then the metallic silver Meridian paint, only available during the initial sale of the ship. The Esperia Stinger is a tough, heavy fighter. The dual medium shields and decent armor protect the Stinger from enemy fire pretty well. Many light fighters will struggle to drop the shields of a Stinger in patch 4.8, let alone get through the armor. The Stinger can also do some decent damage. Its size 5 plasma gun, plus 4 size 4 and 2 size 2 laser cannons, as well as multiple missiles, mean that it can destroy some ships very quickly, as long as the targets stay in front of the ship, and if you have the power plants configured for enough weapon power. The guns work best against tough, slow targets rather than fast light fighters, since the guns fire slowly, but do a lot of damage. The Stinger can also be used as a gunship to bombard ground locations to clear landing zones, or used to take out enemy turrets. The heavy shields will protect against ground fire and turrets, while the heavy cannons take out slow ground targets pretty well. The fuel tanks are pretty large, giving it a long flight range before needing to refuel. The interior allows the pilot to carry a small hoverbike or small cargo boxes, so the Stinger is decent at looting underground bunkers and similar locations, especially if you use the big guns to take out the enemy ground turrets first. There are a lot of drawbacks though with this ship. First, the ship is very sluggish against other fighters. It turns very slowly and doesn't accelerate quickly. The guns only face forward, so if the enemy can get behind the ship, then the Stinger will be vulnerable. The ship is mostly designed to take out slower ships that won't dodge your guns, but it has a lot of trouble against more nimble fighters. The lack of turrets also mean the Stinger has no covering fire behind it, or at any other angles. You may want to get a buddy in a light fighter as a wingman to help cover your ship if someone sneaks behind you. The size 5 gun is also fixed in place, so it doesn't gimbal unlike other guns. So when firing all guns, the other guns will auto gimbal, but the main gun won't, so it will never hit. I recommend turning off gimbal mode when using the size 5 gun so that all guns match up when aiming at targets. The 16 size 2 missiles give you a good amount of missile firepower against smaller medium fighters, but they will be weak against larger targets, and there is no way to upgrade them to size 3 or 4. The lack of co-pilot or dedicated engineering computer mean the pilot has to manage all the ship systems by themselves, especially when you have so many weapons pulling power from the power plants, so the pilot will have to juggle power between systems to make sure things are working optimally. CIG really should have put a co-pilot on this ship, I think. Speaking of power plants, I don't know what CIG was doing with these weak power plants on the ship. You can barely fire 1 or 2 volleys in the default power configuration before waiting for the guns to recharge. When fighting against smaller ships, I recommend turning off the size 5 gun in the engineering screen to increase power to your other guns, especially since that large gun is not gimbaled. You may also want to consider replacing the laser cannons with laser repeaters for more shots on target, or else replace them with ballistic guns that don't even require power at all. Another issue is the lack of bedding or bathroom. Sure, the fuel tanks allow you to travel far, but we'll have to see what happens to logging out in the future if you're far from home without a bed to log out of. In the meantime, you'll have to return to a station or city when you're done for the day. There's also no cargo storage on the ship, so you can't carry any larger cargo than maybe a 1 SCU box, unofficially, if you are looting places after combat. Finally, the price is very high, both on the website and buying in-game, due to both the military and alien tax, so make sure to have enough money if you want to get the ship. In summary, in my opinion, I think CIG didn't fully think the Stinger through properly before selling it. It can be very powerful against slower ships when configured correctly, but it will struggle against most enemy fighters due to the slower speed and maneuverability, plus the lack of turrets or co-pilot. I feel CIG pulled the ship from Squadron 42, but made it just barely functional enough for players to use it in Star Citizen. So personally, I don't recommend buying the ship on the website unless you really want that Vanduul aesthetic, and even then, you can just buy it in-game at Levski. Maybe if CIG updates the ship with better power plants and adds gear stowage, then it'll be worth it. I have to admit, it is fun to fly when all the guns are firing though, and it looks pretty cool. Alright, so that's it for the Esperia Stinger review. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. You can use my referral code if you decide to jump into Star Citizen, and you get 5,000 extra in-game credits, and you save more if you get one of the starter packs on sale. Here's a big thank you to my current patrons, Alana, Brandon, Vash Wildheart, and AceHog88. Please check out my Patreon membership to help me make more videos. All patrons and members will have their names listed at the end of my videos and get access to my Discord channel. Patrons can join my Discord and request particular videos for me to make, so feel free to sign up and let me know what you'd like to see next. Okay, catch you all next time.